Ladies and gentlemen, performing our national anthem, Westlake Senior Kate Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the national anthem. I pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly strewn, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, good morning, everyone. An opening like that. An opening like that is enough to make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and I don't even have hair on the back of my neck, so what a great way to begin. I think if we stopped right now, that would be enough energy to fuel us to begin the school year, don't you? I want to acknowledge some individuals who produced that opening segment. Student Jack Neese, who is a senior here at Westlake High School, produced the light show. And the amazing students in our tech crew under the direction of David Poole, Jeff Strange, Michael Assad. You're going to see them throughout this program, so let's join them in thanking them too. And of course, Carrie Taylor and the marching band from Westlake High School, and Kate, who sang the national anthem. So a great beginning to our night. We have looked forward to this day since last spring and have been planning for this day. And believe me, there are a lot more surprises to come throughout the brief time that we're going to be together this morning, enough to provide you with the energy and enthusiasm to begin your school year. But there are some special guests that I want to acknowledge who are in the room today. I'm probably not going to be able to get him to stand up, but I do want to thank someone who is with us, who led this school district for the last 8 years. He was my friend and mentor for 15 years, and you know that he left this school district in a very good state. We have an enormous debt of gratitude to Dr. Tom Leonard. He's in the house. Please join me in thanking Dr. Leonard. I think he's hiding somewhere, if I know Tom. But you'll see him, and please personally thank him as well if you have the opportunity to exchange with him as you're leaving this morning. But there's also another group that's in the audience this morning who is very supportive of you. We ended the school year on a great note, you know, and many of you received a token of gratitude from this group. The Board of Trustees has supported you, and they're here this morning, and I want to ask to join me on the stage now our President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. John Havenstride, who has a few greetings on behalf of his fellow trustees. John?
Good morning, and Happy New Year. Wasn't that cool? As Dr. Arnett said, I am John Havenstreit, and I have the privilege of being among the Eanes ISD trustees. Now, please allow me to introduce my fellow board members. They're an extraordinarily dedicated bunch, and I couldn't be more proud of them. I'm going to call your name. Please stand up when I do. James Bradley. Heather Sheffield. Ellen Balthazar. Jennifer Champagne is not here. Laura Clark. Kim McMath. And though we don't have her picture, we have a celebrity guest appearance by Christy Bybee. Christy. We're thrilled to be here today. This is easily the coolest thing that we get to do all year long, so thank you for letting us crash your party. Now, as we get started, here are a few braggy brags that you may or may not know. Eanes is the oldest public school community in the state of Texas, and this year Eanes will celebrate its 150th anniversary. Right? Last year's Eanes seniors had the highest ACT and SAT scores of any open enrollment high school in the state, but more impressively, they were, and on the hips of a pandemic, the highest in Westlake's history. Year after year, our K-12 smarty, artsy, and techie and sporty kids compete for and win championships around the region, the state, and the world. Eanes remains the top-ranked school district in Texas, and Westlake is the state's best open enrollment high school. Congratulations, Mr. Ramsey. And as neat as all that braggy brag stuff is, I don't think it should be our focus. In fact, I encourage you to ignore it and simply focus on the kids. Here's a quick quote about the weird science of high expectations. Teachers are dream managers, so encourage your students to dream big, because students' expectations of their success are the greatest predictor of their successes. I found that quote the other day, and I liked it a lot. It kind of hints at classroom magic, but a fragile magic, a magic that can be disrupted by distractions. And there will certainly be distractions this year. Social media wars, bewildering nonsense going on at the legislature, macro and micro, pub ed challenges from who knows where about who knows what. I hope you can find a way to treat all of that as the white noise that it is and just focus on the kids. Help them dream. Help them dream big. That is why you got into education. They are why you stay in education. Spend your time and energy building the relationships that will help your kids dream the big dreams of high expectations. And let Dr. Arnett and his administrators, let the principals and their leadership teams, let EEF and the PTO and boosters, and let me and my fellow trustees handle all the crazy stuff and the noise and the distractions. Because if you just focus on the kids, guiding them along, sharing lessons and laughs and love, all of the braggy brag stuff will fall into place, just as it has for the last 150 years, because that is the Eanes way. Now, wrapping up, if you ever see me or my fellow trustees walking around the school or aimlessly wandering the produce aisle, please feel free to stop us and say hello. We want to meet you. We sincerely do. We want to hear how things are going. We want to put names to faces, and we want to get the stories firsthand. And for our part, know that we, the trustees, intend to be around more than we have in the past. In fact, some of us are hoping to pop into classrooms here and there as substitute teachers. I gotta say, I'm a little nervous about that. Last thing, we know the marketplace for your talent is competitive. You had choices. And we, the board, the administration, and the Eanes community are enormously grateful that you swiped right, that you picked us, and that you're here this morning. You're going to do great things. Your kids are going to dream big, and they are going to do great things, because that is the Eanes way. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year. And with that, it's time for roll call. Please turn your attention to the screens. Loud and proud, ladies and gentlemen, loud and proud.
Good morning and welcome to the 2022 Convocation celebration. I hope you had a relaxing summer. My name is Eric Seegers, and on behalf of all students in Eanes ISD, I want to thank you for making a positive difference each and every day. We're changing it up for roll call this year, and we're asking everyone to join in on celebrating all of our campuses and departments. Please give a round of applause for all as we start off with BCE.
BCE starts off first because we are the best. My name is Evie Webb, and I'm a fourth grader at Baldwin Creek Elementary. Let's make some noise for the Blue Jays. My name is Carly, and I'm a fifth grader at Bridgepoint Elementary. Can we hear it for the Bobcats? My name is Kieran, and I am a third grader at Cedar Creek Elementary. Let's give it up for CCE.
Hola, mi nombre es Selena. Estoy en quinto grado en Eanes Elementary, Casa de los Mustangs. Damos una bienvenida a los Mustangs con un fuerte aplauso. My name is Selena, and I'm a fifth grader at Eanes Elementary, home of the Mustangs. Everyone, welcome the Mustangs with your loudest cheer.
My name is Brooks, and I'm a fourth grader at Forest Trail Elementary. Let's give a warm welcome to all the Falcons. 僕の名前はたかしです。僕は5年生です。会議のために手を合わせましょう。My name is Takashi, and I am a fifth grader at Valley View Elementary. Put your hands together for the Cardinals.
All right. That was good effort, but I know we can do better. My name is Georgia, and I'm an 8th grader at Hill Country Middle School. And I know y'all can give a big roar for the Cougars.
Oh, Hill Country, you think you got it? Not so fast. My name is Sai, and I'm an 8th grader from Westwood Middle School. I am sure we can pump it up loud for Wildcat.
Whatever, y'all. Everyone knows Westlake is the best. I'm Eric, and I'll be a senior this year. Let's get rowdy and hear it for the Chaps.
Don't forget our ATS crew. My name is Caitlin. Let's give a big shout out for ATS teachers and staff. Great job, everyone. Now let's recognize some of the other departments within the district. Let's hear it for our amazing staff at the Central Administration.
To the hardworking individuals that keep all of our technology working, technology services.
To those who take care of some of our youngest, Eanes Care, early education, and after-school care.
About our technical theater students who make this look like a Broadway show.
And my favorite department, keeping your bellies nice and full, style nutrition.
Getting us safely to and from school each day, our amazing transportation team. And the people who raise millions of dollars to fund teachers and support our district in so many ways, the Eanes Education Foundation.
And finally, our maintenance and operations team, which includes rentals, safety, and our hardworking custodians and grounds crew.
Coach Presley is one of the most nicest people I've ever met, and he is super positive with whatever he's doing or saying, and he's mindful and respectful to everyone around him. He's just like the best person.
He's just like really patient with kids like that are younger, and just all of us in general. He has a really good attitude towards us.
He truly values each child and every student, no matter what their athletic ability is. I think that he values them, and they all really enjoy that time. And he just has a really unique, special way of connecting with the kids, gaining their respect, gaining their trust, so that they can feel safe and comfortable and wanting to participate in PE.
Game is really fun. It's my favorite class.
He is an awesome teacher.
He loves big. He cares for all the kids. So kind, passionate, brings so much togetherness into the PE classes. There's so much fun. There's so many wonderful things. When I think about him, I think about team. And he's the T in team and encouraging the students to work together.
Everything we do at the gym is like, community building opportunity. Everything we do is going to involve some sort of teamwork or cooperation, and that's one of the reasons I love being a PE teacher so much. It's just a blast getting to run around with the kids.
He always sneaks in some exercise in the games, so we can't really tell if he's making us exercise or not.
On April Fools, he said that he forgot to get out the equipment, but it was actually hidden. Eat, drink, dance. Congratulations, Coach Presley.
My name's Stephen Presley. I'm the PE teacher at Barton Creek Elementary School.
Meredith has a very calming presence in her classroom. She is very fantastic about letting the kids have voice and choice and agency over their work. She is also great at differentiating.
I feel kind of excited because we just have a lot of options, which makes it a lot we have more control. I like that a lot.
She has this presence of when you walk into the classroom, you know that everyone is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing at their level, and there's just a little bit of a peace about it. She makes them feel comfortable. She makes them feel confident. You can just tell that the kids feel safe in her classroom.
I feel like she just does a really good job of sharing personal experiences when they're appropriate, and just really connecting with them, knowing what they enjoy.
She always has these signs that say believe in you, and she always says that just do your best and it's okay if you mess up, and it makes me feel
confident in me. So if I mess up, I know that I'm going to be okay.
For a student who learns something new or feels successful and starts to feel confident, I love being someone who gets to be involved in that and kind of sparks that for them, and then they take it from there, and I get to be a witness for those little light bulbs that go off.
My mom helps me if I have a problem. She is very kind and she'll help anybody who needs help. She always cares about everyone.
I definitely think she's the right teacher to get the award because you feel like really happy when you walk into her classroom because she always like says good morning to you and she always has a smile on her face. She's also really kind and outgoing and she's calm for a teacher.
She just comes across as being very flawless. Like you would never know that something's going on necessarily. She just has it all together and seems like she is just on her game all the time.
I'm Meredith Joseph. I teach 3rd grade language arts and social studies at Bridgepoint Elementary.
Please welcome students representing all 6 elementary choirs performing Love Will Keep Us Together.
The time to build relationships with students before working with them. So she's in a role where it's unique. She's not necessarily with the same students every day. She has to work with every student in this building. And sometimes she's working with a student that might be struggling or going through something. So before she dives into that, she really takes the time to get to know the kids. It's amazing to watch her around the building, how many students' names she knows. even though they've never been in her classroom. So I think that relationship building piece allows her to get a lot further with the students.
I try to go around to everyone in the morning to check in, see how they're doing, see if they need any support, anything that I can help them with throughout the day. I like to just say hi to them and let them know that I'm here for them. The best part of teaching is just every day knowing that you're impacting someone's life.
Being with Miss Riley helps me calm down and makes me feel better. She really helps me make the day feel more positive. And I also just want to give a shout out here to Miss Riley because Miss Riley helps me a lot getting through the half of my day after recess. Lunch is exhausting.
Miss Riley has a gentle, calming spirit to her. Every time I see her, it's like a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's truly a gift that she has in the way that she protects and cares and loves not only the students, but the staff.
Yeah, I think that Ashley stands out just with her approachable demeanor. She's just one of those people you can go to and you just feel comfortable and at ease right away with her. And the way she talks and shares and just helps guide speaks volumes about who she is and the kind of job she's done. And we're very fortunate to have her in this position.
She's a great teacher. She explains things well, and she would deserve to be educator of the year.
I'm Ashley Riley. I'm the educational partner at Cedar Creek Elementary.
When you step into Julia DePalli's classroom, it is like a magical portal into a magical space of learning. One day she might be dressed up as a conductor with a train hat on and teaching kids how to read. Or one day she's got her white lab coat on with glasses and it's like a real life Miss Frizzle in there. And it's just so engaging to be in her classroom that you just don't ever want to leave.
Well, she makes a lot stuff more funner, and she is really inspiring, and I feel like I wish I could have her again.
Kindergarten, in my opinion, is the best. You get to act silly, you get to be silly, you get to be a 5 and 6 year old and see the life through their eyes. I mean, kindergarten is, you just get to have fun with them.
She is very funny, and she made it way funner. She helped us do all different kind of cool activities. When she gets excited about one thing, she might forget something that she was gonna do with us.
She has an enthusiasm that's unique to her when she's teaching, and it seems like it makes the kids have a lot of fun when they're learning.
Julia has a love for life and a passion for teaching. She leads with warmth and kindness and makes everyone feel comfortable around her. But the one thing that I enjoy the most about her, she walks into the building every morning singing. We call her the Snow White of Eanes Elementary because of the way she creates such a positive atmosphere in her classroom.
All out, she's just a great teacher, and I think we're super lucky to have her here.
Congratulations, Miss DePalli.
I'm Julia DePalli. I teach kindergarten at Eanes Elementary.
Miss Martinez is very loving. The kids in her classroom feel that, her teammates feel that, her colleagues feel that. She makes her classroom a community, and everyone in there is a part of her family. And the kids can sense that, and they feel like they are part of her family.
Miss Martinez, she's very funny, outgoing, loves her students, and just very overall a really good person.
I've definitely learned from Miss Martinez how to create a fun and engaging environment. She really connects with her kids, and you can see that when you walk into her classroom.
I think we all could learn just to give kids a little bit more grace like Miss Martinez does.
If we failed, she would let us do it again. She was very nice and encouraging. She always helps kids get back up when they're down. Miss Martinez is very thoughtful and very kind.
She's all in for kids. She's got the biggest heart. She lives, breathes teaching. It's what she loves to do and what she's meant to do, and she's good at it.
The fact that she chose to make less money, to spend all of her time here and like pour her heart into other people's kids, I think says a lot about who she is.
This is what we get to do. We don't have to be teachers, and that's so important to remember. So every day I make sure I greet them at the door. I tell them good morning. I welcome those hugs, fist bumps, high fives, and that's what I love most.
She's a nice teacher. She made me feel happy and made me feel nice. But seeing this, I love you so much.
I think one thing that she really is probably funny and smart and creative.
And also she's just a really fun teacher to be with.
I'm Priscilla Martinez, Forest Trail Elementary, first grade.
When I watch Kathy Hatch teach music, it's like no music class I've ever seen. They're thinking about their feelings and having this cathartic blues writing experience and then sharing it. And to have a teacher like that makes you feel so safe, so loved. So one word in every way that you can define it, Kathy Hatch is beautiful.
She's gonna have so many students that go, I remember when I was in Miss Hatch's class, and it's gonna be such a positive statement after that because they get to explore so many cool things in her classroom. They find their voice through music, and it's fascinating to watch. I feel so honored to get to be in her class myself sometime.
She is very special compared to most other average teachers. She's like a bomb of happiness. She makes it such a fun environment. I love coming to music. Every time I'm in her class, I just can't wait to see what she's gonna play, like what we're gonna do.
Her lesson plans, I feel like, are more engaging with students, and I feel like they could make students want to learn how to play certain instruments. I think she can just change people's mindsets on music and how they approach it.
I want it to be a fun place when students come in. I want it to be hopefully an inspiring place. And so we dance, we play instruments, we sing together, and hopefully by doing these different activities, there's going to be a spark along the way for each student.
If you ever wanted to have a positive, happy, fun, and supportive music teacher, you would want her. I feel really happy that I have her as my teacher.
My name's Kathy Hatch, and I am the music teacher at Valley View Elementary.
I don't know about you, but I had a great summer. And I did more things this summer, perhaps, than I've ever done before, with thanks to the Eanes Education Foundation. I traveled all over the world. I saw some sights that I didn't think I would ever see in my lifetime. And it was so kind of EEF and their families and students to take me everywhere with them on their trips, and to get to enjoy these locales that were really, really beautiful. So it's been such a great summer. Probably my favorite photo, many of you know that I'm a real baseball fan, was this picture that I received this week. And so these three young men from Bridgepoint, I believe, were at a Padres game, Petco Park in San Diego. You know, it's one thing to stand and hold a paper doll when you're with your family on a beach somewhere by yourselves, but when you're standing in front of 50,000 people at a ballpark, you can just tell by the looks on their faces that this was probably the most awkward thing they had ever done in their life. Like, the young man on the right, you know, probably thinks, this is really creepy. I have no idea who this bald guy is. And here we are standing and holding a paper doll. You know how grateful we are to the Eanes Education Foundation and how they support you and they support our school district. You're going to hear more from EEF later as they launch the beginning of their new year as well, but a special gift awaits you in the lobby. Everyone today is going to receive a special t-shirt, much like the EEF board and staff are wearing today, to emphasize that we are better together. And so they have that gift waiting for you in the lobby, so please take advantage of that before you leave this morning. So, EF, thank you very much. So while that's been a very whimsical summer for me with a lot of really interesting stories, this morning, briefly, I have another story that I'd like for us to focus on. This is a toy story. It's not a toy story in the typical sense as we might think of with Woody and Buzz Lightyear and Jessie and Mr. Potato Head, but this is a different kind of toy story. This is their story, our story, and your story. And what we want to talk about is what that story this year will look like and what it means like for you. But if you'll indulge me for just a moment, I want to begin just for a second with my story, if that's okay. This was my first year of teaching. 34 years ago this month, I began as a first grade teacher at Hawthorne Elementary School, an elementary of 900 students in the suburbs of St. Louis. And this was my first class that I will always remember, 27 first graders, 5 of whom were repeating first grade, 5 little boys, all of whom had IEPs, had significant attention deficit issues. And I still remember the principal saying to me that these young boys need a role model, which is code for, you're new here, you're the only male teacher in the grade level, these kids are a handful, good luck. But that was 34 years ago. Those were foundational years for me in the classroom, long before I ever became an administrator. And so that was the beginning of my story. But if you fast forward 34 years, now I've been in 5 school districts. I've taught and worked in St. Louis, in New York, Chicago, and now here in Austin for 7 years. And so the Arnett's have been in Austin now and in Central Texas for a few years. And this is home. And my family is here with me this morning. And I want to introduce them to you. My wife, Karen. 36 years she has tolerated me. And our children are here as well. Our daughter, Carly, and a young man that she is very fond of. And we're very fond of as well, Branson Hardcastle. So, Branson. Carly and Branson both graduated from Baylor University, and the other young man in our family is our son, Scott, our oldest, Scott. Scott also graduated from Baylor, and unlike Carly, he is unattached. So if there are any... Should I not have said that? I didn't want to say that, but your mom insisted that I didn't. You know, those of us who are dads, you know that we specialize in awkward moments. It is something that I'm really good at, and I just realized it could be really embarrassing if no one comes forward at the end of the program to meet Scott. Especially because we made lunch reservations for 6 people. So, you know, play to your strengths, and I'm really good at embarrassing my kids and my family. In fact, I do it every day according to them. So I've taken this moment to announce that in addition to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I'm beginning my own TikTok site. And I'll have a new dance move every day. So really looking forward to that. Before the Arnett's were in Austin, there was Austin Arnett. This is my great-great-grandfather. Austin Arnett was born in Tennessee, but lived most of his life in a little town called Spencer, Indiana, which is just up the road from where I was born and raised in Bloomington, Indiana. Both of those little towns are about an hour south of Indianapolis. And Austin Arnett lived most of his life in that little town until 1862. At the age of 33, he went away to fight for the Union Army in the Civil War. Now, that's what most able-bodied men did in that time. But unlike most other men of his age and era, Austin Arnett was 33 years old, he was not married, and he had no family. So his travels took him, and this is an actual photograph of him in his private's uniform. He was a member of the Infantry Company D, the Indiana 59th Regiment. He went off to fight in the Civil War. He started in Spencer, Indiana, went down through Vicksburg. He fought at the Battle of Vicksburg with General Grant. Then he marched through Atlanta and on to Savannah and the Atlantic Ocean with General Sherman. So all of these stops along the way, Austin Arnett was a part of history. And in fact, today, he ended his tour in Washington, D.C. He marched in the Grand Review with the Army of the Potomac, arriving in D.C. only days after President Lincoln was assassinated. And then he was discharged from the Union Army, and we actually have his original discharge papers in our family. So that's a great story. And I've gotten to know my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, from several letters that he wrote. And this is an excerpt from a letter that he wrote on June 6, 1863, when he was encamped just outside of Vicksburg before that famous battle. And he was writing to a beautiful young lady back home in his little town of Spencer named Emmerine Hicks. And I'm going to read an excerpt from his letter now. And for our English teachers, don't be too harsh on my great-great-grandfather because, you know, he invented spelling and all that was the thing. So if you read this, he says, "I am afraid the girls will all marry before I come home." He's writing to Emmerine, and we know that he wrote many letters to Emmerine. "I would like to be with you. So when I get home, I am going to enjoy myself by visiting my family, for I have endured hardships enough to enjoy my future if I have faith. Most truly yours, Austin." So he wrote that letter to Emmerine. It was one of several that we know that he wrote to her. But sadly, Emmerine did not wait for Austin. She married someone else, and when he returned home after the war ended in 1865 at the age of 36, there were not a lot of women left in the village. So he married my great-great-grandmother, Mary Ellen Watts. Why do you laugh? I mean, when you're the last man to the dance, Scott, I don't think this is what she looked like when they got married. In fact, they were married for 24 years before he passed away in 1890. They had 9 children, 5 of whom survived to adulthood, one of whom was my great-grandfather, obviously. So in 1872, they had been married for a few years, resettled in Spencer, Indiana, and that spring my great-grandfather was born. But something else was happening in 1872. Because 1,063 miles from that little town of Spencer, Indiana, another family was making its trek across land, an arduous journey coming from Aberdeen, Mississippi. By the way, we know from the maps and the travels of General Grant's army towards Vicksburg that my great-great-grandfather, Austin, and the 59th Indiana Regiment probably passed within a half-day's march of Aberdeen, Mississippi. So who was coming from Aberdeen, Mississippi? It was this gentleman, Robert Eanes. And in 1872, Robert Eanes brought his family cross-country to settle in this area. And that fall, on a little parcel of land that he and his brother Alexander had mapped out, that's about 800 yards from where we are at right now, on the site, we believe, of present-day Eanes Elementary, began the first schoolhouse in our community 150 years ago. And that's why we're celebrating such a historic anniversary and the heritage of this great school district today. So when you stop and you think about all that has been accomplished in our school district in 150 years, the reputation that we built, the record and the legacy of accomplishment and achievement, all of that now has accumulated to bring us to this day where we're celebrating that milestone. So 150 years later, you're going to hear a lot about the commemoration of our 150th anniversary in our history this coming school year. But for a moment, I want to return back to that letter, the excerpt from the letter that we read just a moment ago from my great-great-grandfather, Austin. And 3 words, he had no idea. Nearly 160 years ago, he was hitting on 3 themes that I want to underscore today, 3 values that I believe distinguish us from any other school district in the state. and the three things that I hope you'll focus on this year. And if you look closely at the letter, they are three words: family, future, and faith. So if you look at those three words, what we'll call the three F words, which, by the way, on this report card, it's okay if we get straight Fs in this regard. But let's look at those three words against the backdrop of our mission statement: to unite, to empower, and to inspire every person, every day. So where's the intersection of our mission statement and those three words that I mentioned just a moment ago? Well, it looks like this: unite, family; empower for the future; and inspire faith. Now, let's walk through those one by one. To unite means to work together as a family. You have a lot of families that you work with every day. And the one thing I'd like for you to remember is that those families, whether they are fully invested in their children's education, or perhaps you can tell they are detached from what's going on in their children's lives, in many cases, what they are experiencing at home in their family, we now become their family every day. And we need to look at that through the lens of empathy. I realized that just this week I had responded to a father in an email in a way that I thought was appropriate and direct. But what I didn't understand is that's a family that in all likelihood is in some turmoil. And they interpreted my response very differently. So with empathy, remember that children are coming to us from very different families and experiences. So our story in this Toy Story must be that we are a family for each other. We're here to support each other, to hold each other accountable. There's a very high standard in our school district, as you know. And we have to work together every day to lift each other up as a family to achieve that. And when I stop to think about the families that are a part of this community here in this room, and you realize, for example, at Barton Creek Elementary, where there are 4 sets of mothers and daughters who are working together on that campus, or there are former students on all of your campuses who graduated from our schools and have now returned to teach in our classrooms. Those are important family legacies that we need to honor. I think of my good friend Deshae and her daughter Jordan. Deshae working in the food service or in child nutrition at Forest Trail Elementary, and Jordan in our Child Development Center. Do you know that every day, mother and daughter, Deshae and Jordan, drive together from Killeen to work in our school district because we are their family? I think of a brand new family, David and Emma Barkley, father and daughter, David teaching here at Westlake High School, Emma at Eanes Elementary, and they're beginning their new chapters of their careers with us in our family. And I think of my good friends Shaq Warren and Clayton Wright. Shaq, a part of the security detail here at Westlake High School, keeping careful watch over our students and staff every day. And his father-in-law, Clayton, who is here because he wants to keep careful watch over Shaq. Love interacting with these guys. And they are a part of our family. But we also have a responsibility to empower each other's futures. We want to look ahead and realize that you are here because you have somewhere that you want to go, something that you want to achieve in your lives and your careers, and we want to honor that. We want to support that. We want you to be the best that you can possibly be. So I think of students like Kyle Hoover. Many of you knew Kyle. Barton Creek, Westridge, the high school, graduated from here, and since kindergarten, Kyle wanted to be an Imagineer at Disney. And so he went all through our schools, graduated from Westlake in 2018, went to the prestigious Savannah College of Art and Design, and this summer, Kyle began his career as an Imagineer at Disney. A lifelong dream that you helped him achieve. And other programs and supports that we have for you in this district to empower your future. If you have an opportunity to be a part of programs like the Institute for Excellence, where we help you lead from your strengths, lead from where you are, and to reach that destination that you have in mind for yourself. And then finally, let's talk about faith. the faith and the confidence and the trust that we place in each of you and in our students to do your jobs and to do them well. I want you to know that we have that faith in you. We believe in their story as students. We know that they have potential. We believe in our story as a school district. But most importantly, we believe in your story. We have faith in you. We're here to support you because you are leading us. We're not leading you. We're following you. And to follow someone, you have to have faith in them. And we're following each of you because you are so good at the jobs that you do. So one more word about faith, and then I'll close. And by the way, Michael Batar, where's Michael? He's in the back. Michael, I want to say something to you. You inspire us. You are the reason why we have faith in our students and in each other. Many of you know Michael. He began at Bridgepoint, Hill Country Middle School, Westlake High School, the Adult Transition Services Center, graduated from here, went to Texas A&M, and Michael has returned now to work with us as a teacher's assistant in our early childhood special education program. Those are the stories of faith that inspire us. So one more thing about faith. As I said, I have faith in you to lead us well. Leadership doesn't begin with the superintendent, it begins with you. Whether you realize it or you acknowledge it, you're always leading, always representing, always communicating about our family, their family, your family, future, and the faith that we have in each other. I trust you. I have faith that when interacting with each other, when supporting our students, parents, when expressing your opinion, you will represent us well. We have that confidence in you. You are ambassadors for our school district. And let's be proud of the school district that we have today and the school district that we celebrate now for 150 years. So when I talk about grading ourselves, I'm not worried. We are a family. We have a future. We have faith in each other. So as I said earlier, all F's on our report card in this matter is just fine. That's ultimately what is most important. So make this year a 12 on a 10-point scale. Give it all you've got. Be a go-getter as if you have nothing to lose, and have a fabulous school year. Thank you, everybody.
See the girl with the diamonds in her shoes. She walks around like she's got nothing to lose. And she's a go-getter. She's everybody's type. She's the queen of the city, but she don't believe the hype. She's got her own elevation, holy motivation. So I wrote some letters on big bones. I got faith in you, baby. I got faith in you now. And you've been such a good friend to me. Oh, that I love you so high. I'll bet you, hallelujah. I got faith.
See the boy with the Stevie Wonder swag. Ain't got a clue how a magic that he has. He's a go-getter. He's everybody's type. Make him a mission, make him feel alright. He's a 12 on a 10 point, rocking out to his joint. Just say the word 'cause I can sing all night. I got faith
Whenever you walk into Katie's room, what you're going to be struck with right away is her relationship with her students. She makes them feel very safe in her classroom, and her enthusiasm is contagious about what she does, and she really brings out the best in them.
When she greets you, you feel like welcome into the class.
She right away got to conversation and she started getting to know us as a person, so you don't have to feel like shy or like you have to keep to yourself around her. You can always just be yourself.
Middle school students really value authenticity, and they can tell if you're trying to be something that you're not. So I start out by just being me. I'm silly, I'm goofy, I make a lot of jokes in class, I tell a lot of stories, and I think that helps us to just build that connection and helps them to know that I value them beyond just, the singing and the music learning, but I value them as a person.
You would want her. You would want her as your teacher.
I think she makes it enjoyable for the kids to actually want to, be in her class. She's very nice and she's just a fun person to be around.
I also love that I get to be a safe place for them, someone who knows them, someone they can talk to. From the first day of 6th grade to the last day of 8th grade, I think that is a real draw for me to get to build those relationships over multiple years, and the choir room just becomes this, this home.
Katie is very enthusiastic. She bonds with all of her children and students. She often is the reason why some of our kids come to school. She truly makes a difference in all of her students' lives.
She's like a light in the darkness. Like a lot of times she just helps you just be a better person and be nicer.
I'm Katie Bratton, and I teach choir at Hill Country Middle School.
Something that everyone should know about Miss Templeton is that she's really kind, sweet, loving, funny, and she cares about everyone.
Kate stands out because she has so many roles on campus, and despite having these 3 huge roles, she still makes her colleagues and her students feel like she has so much time for them, and that just speaks to how much she cares about the people she works with.
She's made a really good positive environment for any student. Any student feels welcome there. She's always has her arms out for anybody. And when we have exciting news, she's always there to pump us up about it.
Even if you're having a little bit of a bad day, she can turn that around very quickly.
When I failed math statistics test, she started consoling me, saying, better next time. The good part is she protects me. That's one thing I like about that, so I would say keep up the good work on that.
We know how much she does for the students, and it looks effortless, even though you know that she's working really hard and the kids love her.
Well, I meet them where they are, and I give them a lot of respect. I try to find their interests, and I try to make it fun and laugh a lot with them. And I find that when you connect with students, the more you do that, the more they're willing to do for you. I feel pretty lucky that I get to be in her class all year and have the opportunity to know her.
She's just a really caring person, and I believe that's why she got Educator of the Year.
My name's Kate Templeton. I'm a modified reading and English teacher, and I've been at Westridge for 20 years.
Coach Lucero is the golden example of how people should be and what they should put first. I think his program wins because winning is second important to him, as in taking care of his kids. And so I think that players play for him with a dedication that they wouldn't for just anyone. And I think, again, it just goes back to the genuine person that he is.
I think he's shown that you can be a super tough coach. You can be hard on the kids in the classroom and expect a lot out of them, but you can really blend also just that individual personal relationship with kids.
He wants to create relationships with students, and he wants to develop them as people, and he gets students to think about who they are and what they believe, and he challenges them to expand upon that and think deeper about themselves.
Not just to develop ourselves as basketball players, but also as people, and he definitely carries a powerful message with him.
For me, I think back to who I was when I was in high school, and so you're kind of empathetic to what they're going through at the time, but there's also a bigger picture that you have for them, that you hope that they're eventually have for themselves, who they're going to be when they leave this place.
He wants you to always, be the best version of yourself that you could be. And so I think that's why he cares so much, and him, kind of acting as like a mentor / I would say even parent in a way, it helps a lot. Like, he's always there for you, just a really caring person.
I see both sides of him. On court, he can be really scary and loud, but off the court, he's maybe the kindest person I know.
I think what really sets him apart is how he carries himself with people, and he does a very good job balancing being a coach, but also being a mentor and a friend too when you need it. He's just a great person. I couldn't say enough good things about him.
My name is Robert Lucero. I teach PE yoga and coach basketball here at Westlake High School.
We are going to ask our 2022 Educators of the Year if they'll please join us on stage. And as they're coming, those of you who have previously been Educators of the Year, would you please stand so that we can recognize you again?
Please welcome the 2022 Educators of the Year. From Barton Creek Elementary, Stephen Presley. From Bridgepoint Elementary, Meredith Joseph. From Cedar Creek Elementary, Ashley Riley. From Eanes Elementary, Julia De Pauli. From Forest Trail Elementary, Priscilla Martinez. From Valley View Elementary, Kathy Hatch. From Hill Country Middle School, Katie Bratton. From Westridge Middle School, Kate Templeton. And from Westlake High School, the District Educator of the Year, Robert Lucero.
That felt like a sympathy clap, like, for you. I had a feeling driving in this morning that I haven't had in a long time. Some of you more experienced teachers might have had it, where you're like pulling into the parking lot and you're not sure if you can do it. You just want to keep on driving home. But I knew that Mr. Ramsey would give me a hard time and make fun of me, so I thought I better show up. So first, thank you. I've had way too long to think about what I wanted to say today. I've struggled to find the words and the direction I wanted to go, because hearing people talk about me and being recognized like today, I definitely do not feel deserving. When I walk around the halls of Westlake, I see teachers and coaches and administrators that are much more deserving. But for whatever reason, I'm here, so I'm gonna do my best today because all of you matter to me. I'd like to start today with one of my favorite quotes from Joseph Campbell: "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." I told myself this every time I thought about today, because I definitely had a lot of fear inside. I also had fear inside of me every time there's a big decision to make in my life, like moving from El Paso to Dallas after I graduated high school, or moving from Nacogdoches away from my family for my first teaching job, and then moving to Austin without a job. But with each of those moves, I had fear, and it drove me to grow. I also had fear when I asked my wife to marry me, because I wasn't sure she would say yes. And I had a big fear in me when we decided it was time for us to start to have kids. But that fear inside of me, with those two decisions, have brought me more joy than I could ever imagine. This year I would challenge you to face the fear you have when it comes to our profession, whether it's doing a new lesson or having a challenging conversation with a student. That might lead you in the direction where you find the fulfillment that our job is sometimes missing. One of the reasons I feel so uncomfortable in situations like today is because I know that I do nothing alone. There are situations in sports where commentators or even players would say they put the team on their back. That's KJ literally putting Dunkerville on his back. They didn't call a foul. It always drove Coach Richardson, the coach that got me into teaching, crazy. He would say, the team the player didn't put the team on his back. The team lifted the player up to be successful. That's what I find beautiful about sports and how I feel about today. My parents have been my best teachers and been lifting me up my entire life. My wife supports me in every aspect of my life, and her love lifts me up every day. Mr. Ramsey and our admin teams do a great job of putting us in situations to be successful, and they're always there for us. I have been part of PLC teams that are selfless and take care of one another. I've always had 4 assistant coaches that make my job easier, and I've been around some of the brightest, most hardworking and talented kids in my time at Westlake. Any success or recognition that I've received is only because of the teams I've been part of. We see this idea, and I'm very grateful for that. We see this idea of team first all over our campus. Our first core value in basketball is team first, and it ends with leave it better than you found it. In football, you see it on their shirts when they warm up. It says team over me. Our cheer labels it as nothing but our best. Band's last tenet is support our family, and you see it in the branding Mr. Ramsey has placed all over our halls. Once a SHAP, always a SHAP. This type of work is not always publicized, and we're not perfect at Westlake, but we are trying to be better every day. To take the analogy one step further, I feel like at the high school we get a great deal of recognition for what takes place in our district. State champions, UIL awards, National Merit Scholars, and being the top-ranked comprehensive high school in the great state of Texas, and all the other accolades that our school receives is not because of what we do here at the high school, it's because of what happens in our district. Our students come into the high school with great fundamentals, they know how to work, and they have a belief that they will succeed. The attributes they possess are because of what you all do daily. I hope that when our students at the high school are successful, or when Westlake is recognized for excellence in some field, that everyone in this room feels a sense of pride. Our community, starting with our parents and all of you teachers, is who lifts us up to be successful. Not long ago, I was watching a documentary on my favorite hip-hop artist, Kanye West. The documentary followed him before he was famous and when he was producing his first album, The College Dropout. A scene shows him talking with his late mother, Donda West, and she tells him that a giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing. She was trying to tell him to stay humble, a piece of advice he often forgets. But that got me thinking, what does a giant see when he or she looks in the mirror? As I was thinking about this speech and what I would say, I was reminded of some times in my life when I encountered a giant. When I was going into 2nd grade, my family moved from El Paso to Albuquerque. It was a difficult time because I was young and didn't quite understand what was happening. I have vivid memories of the drive and watching the '84 Summer Olympics at a La Quinta before my family moved into the duplex my parents had rented. I had my parents and my 2 younger brothers, but I was very nervous walking into Miss Sanchez's 2nd grade class. I think it's actually 3rd grade, but I was the new kid and I didn't know anyone, but I was quickly put at ease. My teacher was young and kind, and I only wanted to get her attention like all the other students in my class. I went from being very nervous to looking forward to school. I can remember missing the bell to come in from lunch because I was off playing soccer on the playground, and when I realized I was late, I ran back into class. I was in tears because I knew I was going to disappoint her. At the end of that school year, I moved to a different class for a couple hours a day. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I only wanted to be in her class. And then I was told that I would be in a GT class the next year. Pretty funny to think about me being GT at anything, or let alone in a whole GT class. So I'm not sure what Miss Sanchez saw in me, and I'm not sure what she saw in the mirror each day. But when I see her, I see a giant. I had Miss Alice for 3rd grade, Miss McLean for 4th, Mr. Hop for 5th, and then Mr. Whitehouse my 6th grade year. Not to dismiss what we do at the high school, but it's funny how 35 years later I can remember all of their names, but I couldn't tell you who my world history teacher was. Probably says a little bit more about me and the mess I was in high school than it does and a little less about my teachers. Mr. Whitehouse had a reputation for being a strict disciplinarian. He walked to school every day with his wing-toe shoes, carrying his briefcase, with his jacket and tie. He was the Bo Wilkes of our elementary school. When he lectured, if you yawned, he'd make you stand up in the back of the class. If you didn't raise your hand, he'd give you a look that would put every 6th grader in the class in fear. But we also did the funnest projects. We'd play chess every Friday afternoon. If you asked a question he deemed brilliant, he would throw you a silver dollar. We learned about Shakespeare and how to write in calligraphy. One day he was lecturing about ancient Egypt and hieroglyphics, and I got the courage to raise my hand, and I said, Mr. Whitehouse, how do we know what those symbols mean from so long ago? How do we know we're right? That's when he said, good job, Robert, and he tossed me a silver dollar. I still have it today. We then learned about the Rosetta Stone and this man named Napoleon who found it while traveling through Egypt. He also had this wonderful system where at the beginning of each 6 weeks, we would vote for a class president and a class vice president. They would be our representatives for that 6 weeks. They would oversee bringing him questions from the class, taking notes to the front office, and organizing a pizza party at the end of the 6 weeks. I got voted class president the first 6 weeks, and that happened to be the same time as my birthday in September. I knew exactly what I wanted for my birthday. Any guesses? That's right. I begged and begged my dad to get my ear pierced. It's pretty much the same thing every 6th grade boy in 1988 wanted. When I got back to school that Monday, I was on top of the world. It was not long ago after that I had to take a note down to the principal's office, being the class president. When I got to the office, I gave the note to the assistant principal, and she took me into her office, and she made me take out my earring. Being the compliant, rule-follower person I am, I did what she said, and then being the emotional wreck I am, I cried all the way back to class. When I got to class, Mr. Whitehouse asked me what happened, and I told him, and I went to my seat and was just out of it the rest of the day. I guess my parents were called and picked me up early because I don't remember walking home with my brothers that day. And I was already home when they arrived. At about the same time, I got a phone call from Mr. Whitehouse. I was shocked and kind of intimidated. I didn't even know teachers could use phones. He gave me a piece of advice that I'll remember for the rest of my life. He asked me how I was doing, and then he said, in situations that you're in, Robert, you have 3 choices. He said, you can flee and you can run. You can flow and do what they say, or you can fight. He said, I read all the rules of our district and the rules for our school. It says nothing about that you can't wear an earring. When you come tomorrow, if you're wearing your earring, I will support you. The next day, I returned my earring. I'm not sure who my teacher talked to. Was it the principal? Was it the AP? Was it our superintendent? And I'm not sure what he saw when he looked in the mirror, but in my eyes, he's a giant. I was listening to a podcast the other day. Jeff Van Gundy, the old professional basketball coach and NBA commentator, was talking, and he said, today, everyone hates the teacher and the coach. I'm not sure if everyone hates us, but I do know we take a lot of heat. He said it's something that you have to learn to accept. I do agree with that. This year ahead of us is going to come with challenges. They always do. When you hit one of those rocky times, I encourage you to look in the mirror and ignore all the imperfections that only you know. I encourage you to look in the mirror and ignore the voices of the people who are trying to bring you down. You see, we're not here for them. So instead, I encourage you to look in the mirror and see the giant you are to the kids in your class, because that's why we are here, and those are the voices that matter. Thank you.
Let's stand here for a photo. Congratulations. You did a great job.
Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother, the youngest one in curls.
It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with 3 boys of his own. They were 4 men living all together, yet they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
And here's a story of Eanes Independent School District and Eanes Education Foundation. two organizations that strive to meet the needs of our children by supporting their education across 9 different schools. They knew that together, with the help of their community, they could create the opportunities that allow for children to recognize their potential and realize their dreams. Did you know that many of the most important teachers and programs for our kids aren't funded by the state? Positions such as nurses, librarians, social and emotional counselors, dyslexia specialists, reading and math specialists, honors and AP teachers, and many, many more are considered luxuries by the state of Texas. In fact, 64% of the property taxes paid by Eanes residents never make it to our classrooms because they're captured by the state to fund other districts. This means only 36 cents of every dollar you pay for your property taxes makes it to our schools. For this school year, over $124 million will never reach our children. At Eanes, together we believe our children deserve the best so they can be their best. That's why Eanes Education Foundation was established, to make sure that our children have all of the teachers and staff needed to help them not just get an adequate education, but an excellent EEF education. Since its inception, EEF has granted over $28.5 million to fund more than 576 teachers. That's because when you donate to Eanes Education Foundation, 100% of your donation stays in our district to fund our teachers, so they can provide enriching and innovative opportunities for our children. We are better together. Parents, students, teachers, booster clubs. Together, we make sure our kids get the exemplary education we've come to expect from living in the district, and that excellence remains the standard at Eanes. But we can only maintain that high standard with your help. It's only because of your donations and commitment to this district that we can help our children have the best educational experience possible. Help us make a difference, and together we can do more. Please donate to the Teacher Fund today at www.eaneseducationfoundation.org.
And now, the worldwide debut of the 2022 Eanes ISD Staff Choir and Staff Band, led by Westlake Music Directors Ed Snofer and Carrie Taylor.
This year I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive.
Like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
Our special thanks to Ed Snoper and Carrie Taylor. By the way, all of the choirs that you saw perform today, so inspiring, but they rehearsed for the first time this week. That's an indication of the talent and the professionalism in this school district that you are a part of. That concludes our program this morning with the exception of one final note. More than 125 years ago, as the centuries transitioned from the 19th into the 20th, a tradition in our school district was to ring this very bell. A bell that signified the opening of a new school year and the welcoming of new students. It was called Ringing in the Students, and that's how we want to begin this school year in celebration of our 150th anniversary. To all of you, those who performed, those who enjoyed, thank you. Have a great school year. There's nothing to stop you now from being the success that we know you're capable of being. Have a great